Hello beautiful souls out there, it's Ashik Gowda here. It's been 1 week since I posted my intro video and I've been getting so much of love and support from each and everyone for my new YouTube channel Ashik Talks, and this will be my first official video in Ashik Talks. From now onwards I'll be posting videos every 2-3 days once, or sometimes maybe once in a week. And today here I am to speak about COVID-19 and its actual reality. Not just the scientific facts or the physical facts or the mental fact, the actual reality behind it. First, let's speak about the general facts or the total number of coronavirus cases which has been around world, India and different other countries. Coming to the world, the global cases, it's been around 1.5 crore totally infected by this COVID-19, in which 55 lakh people are currently active and around 6 lakh people have been dead due to this COVID-19. And coming to our nation, India, the total cases are around just about 13 lakhs and active cases are just 4.75 lakhs, in which the mortality rate is just about 3.2%. As far as India is concerned, the total cases are 1.3 million, in which the most number of the cases have been contributed by Maharashtra and Tamil Nadu. Maharashtra contributing around 3.4 lakh and Tamil Nadu contributing just about 2.5 lakhs. World Health Organization marks its 6th month anniversary of COVID-19 on June 29th, and World Health Organization welcomes the preliminary results of dexamethasone. Dexamethasone is used in curing the critical and ventilated patients. To talk about Beijing, the capital city of China, after 50 long days without having a single coronavirus cases, just 2 days back it has registered 100 more active cases after 50 long days. The pandemic is accelerating in Africa too. It took around 96 days to cross 1 lakh cases in the beginning, and it just took 18 days to move from 1 lakh to 2 lakh cases. Before speaking about the actual reality of COVID-19 and its effects, what exactly is coronavirus, or what exactly is COVID-19? A group of related virus, not just one virus, I mention it again, the group of related virus that cause respiratory tract infections that can range from mild to lethal. The main cause of a virus, not just coronavirus, I mention it again, the main cause of any virus is not just to kill the person. It doesn't want to kill the person or the host. Its only cause in the purpose of its life is to spread its genome from one person to another person, or from one host to another host. Now coming to the novel coronavirus or COVID-19, which is actually not a deathful disease or a deadly virus, comparing to the other outbreaks or the pandemics which happened in the past. I'll just give you a brief note on the past outbreaks or the pandemics caused by different viruses or the disease. Coming to the first one, Spanish flu, which happened in about 1918, which almost infected 1/3 of the world population, that is 500 million cases were registered due to the Spanish flu, in which 50 million people were dead. Around the mortality rate is around 10%, and the most affected groups are between 20 years to 40 years. But when it comes to COVID-19, it's not the same case, and the treatments were none because as antibiotics and antivirals were not existent then. Coming to the second pandemic, SARS, severe acute respiratory syndrome, which infected around 8,000 plus people around 27 countries, killing about 774 people, and the mortality rate is 15% more than that of Spanish flu. There were no such thing called treatment, but there were certain antivirals which worked for some people. Coming to the vaccine, the moment the vaccine was found, the pandemic was already ended. And coming to the third and the most deathful virus in the history of humankind, Ebola, which affected mostly around western part of Africa. Ebola was extremely dead, which ended up killing around 50% of the people who were infected by Ebola. There were about 28,000 global cases and the deaths was around 12,000 cases. There were no such thing called treatment or vaccine unless and until the Ebola ended by itself. Now, these are the numbers and the facts of the previous outbreaks or the pandemics. Now coming to the novel coronavirus. The global cases are around 15 crore 70 lakh people, in which 80% of the infected persons show mild symptoms. And coming to the death, it's around 6 lakh 37,000. Around 65 to 70% of the infected persons have been already recovered, and the mortality rate is just about 3.4%. And in certain parts of the world, the mortality and the death rate is just about 0.2%. The most affected group in this coronavirus is in between the age of 50 to 70 years old and below the age of 5 to 10-year old. The best and the most positive part of the novel coronavirus cases are it doesn't go to the level of killing the person unless and until the person's immunity is low or is suffering from some other health issues which would have already made them weak. Coming to the treatments. Treatments have been successful for most of the infected people considering supportive care is provided. Pain relievers and fever reducers can alleviate symptoms. Antibiotics and antivirals, which are used in the cure of other viruses or other disease, have been used for the treatment of COVID-19 patients, which have been successful for most of the time. The symptoms here in COVID-19 have been mild most of the times comparing to that of other pandemics which happened in the past. And here also the death rate is damn too low when compared to Spanish flu, Ebola and SARS. But still there are few major things which made on switch on the people's panic mode right from the past 4 months. The main reasons are though the COVID-19 is less effective than compared to the other pandemics, the others were not nearly as infectious as coronavirus. None of the other pandemics like SARS, Spanish flu overwhelmed the capacity of doctors to ventilate the patients like how COVID-19 did. None of them overwhelmed the capacity of ICUs in the hospital. As the other pandemics or the virus outbreak made the doctors and the medical staff busy, but not as COVID-19 did. Here in COVID-19, the patient has to roam around the entire city to find a single bed to get treatment for himself. Scientists are striving hard in finding a vaccine. Recently, a scientist from Oxford found a vaccine which is undergoing phase 3 trials at the moment. And also an Indian scientist from Bharat company found a vaccine called Covaxin which is undergoing trials at the moment. There are few other scientists from different countries who are striving hard to find a vaccine which is undergoing trials at the moment. The only thing which is making the scientists worried is the virus has started undergoing mutation. It has started to mutate from person to another person. What exactly is mutation? Mutation is nothing but when a virus spreads its genome from a person to another person or from a host to another host, it starts to functioning differently or slightly differently. If this virus keeps on mutating from a person to another person, this is going to be a real hard task for the scientists to find a proper and accurate vaccine for COVID-19. At least, if not impossible, it is going to be a real hard task for the scientists and the entire medical department. To explain about mutation, I'll just give an example. Common cold. Till date, there is no proper and accurate vaccine for common cold. The reason is mutation. But still, people are not scared of common flu as it is nearly not infectious as COVID-19 and it do not spread as quick as COVID-19. Now, let's speak about the outer world and the problems what the pandemic has been creating for the people. As humans, we are all social creatures. We cannot be without interacting, talking or touching each other. Now, let's come to the common problems faced by the people during this pandemic. Around 12.2 crore Indians lost their job in the month of April alone, and the employment reduced around 400 million to 396 million from 2019 to 2020 March, and a massive fall in April alone coming down to 282 million, which means 122 million lost their job in April alone, which has been shown in the graph above. And the most affected sectors are small traders and daily wage laborer category, who lost around 90 million jobs in April alone. When it comes to business people or entrepreneurs, in 2019 there was 78 million entrepreneurs in India, which came down to 60 million entrepreneurs, which means 18 million entrepreneurs lost their businesses and jobs. When it comes to densely populated countries like India and Bangladesh, most of the daily wagers don't have their own home. They just stay in the place where they work or in the place where they get rented nearby to the place of the work. When it comes to most densely populated countries like India and Bangladesh, most of the daily wage laborers don't have their own home. They sleep in the place where they work or stay in a rented home. When the lockdown was announced, there was no other choice than going back to their native, as they had no money for food, rent, or even to survive. At the same time, transportation was completely shut. Lakhs of people started walking hundreds and thousands of kilometers back home with their small kids, old age parents, and some with the entire family just by walking. Many died in the way, such as pregnant women, old age people, small kids, even youths died due to starving. Results of lakhs of people going to native resulted in unnecessary crowd gathering, which was strictly prohibited then, which made the state government of different states announce lathi charge. Coming to the economy of India, the GDP of India dropped rapidly. It slipped to massive 3.1% in the first quarter of 2K20, that is from January to March. Even the slowdown of other business activities around the world impacted the economy of India during Jan to April. Apart from this, the main thing which is affecting all sectors or all kind of people, maybe rich, middle class or poor, is the mental state of health. There were surveys going on about asking people how they were feeling during this lockdown. Many were like bored and desperate, grateful, tired, productive, paranoid, and stuff like I'm done. 8 out of 10 people were feeling negative about their mental state during lockdown. People concentrate on physical health and forget about their mental health, which leads to anxiety and depression. The worst part of human tendency is humans tend to think about the things they worry about when they are alone, lonely, or isolated. Whenever we feel lonely, the brain releases stress hormones. If it continues for a long time, it affects the physical health too. As mentioned before, people are in continuous panic mode because of these news channels and fake rumors. It's like each and every day, the moment you switch on the news channel, it's just about COVID-19, that, etc., etc. It's just like you're living the same day over and over again. When it comes to the mental state, children have been affected a lot than adults. As survey says, 1 out of 5 children are even afraid to go out of their home. The conspiracy what has been created around the people is damn higher than the reality. Before finishing my video, I would love to say, stay strong and keep your loved ones strong. Of course, this is not a deadly virus, especially keep your mental state calm and peaceful and do something productive for your career. You would never get such ample time in your life ever again. Yes, of course, there is continuous fear in people around the world, but whatever fear you're facing inside, you're definitely not the one. We are all facing the same. As experts says, adopting and being in the present is the only cure apart from the vaccine. The only question in each and every person's mind right now, irrespective of any age, is how long does it take to find a COVID-19 vaccine or to develop a COVID-19 vaccine. I hope our scientists and our medical departments are striving hard to find a solution and develop a COVID vaccine as soon as possible. And that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching my video. Please do share this with your family and friends. And please subscribe my new YouTube channel Ashik Talks, and don't forget to hit the bell icon so that whenever I post a new video, you'll be notified. From now, every 3 to 4 days I'll be posting a new video consistently. Thank you so much. Keep supporting.